Good morning. Welcome to zoology class. We are continuing the yesterday's class in another video. The topic is gene cloning. In that, I am going to deal with retroviral vectors. Retroviral vectors are used to introduce new alternated genes into the genomes of human animal cells. Retroviruses are RNA viruses. The viral RNA is converted into DNA by reverse transcriptase, and then it is efficiently integrated into the host genome. Any foreign or mutated host gene introduced into the retroviral genome will be integrated into the host chromosome and can reside there practically indefinitely. Retroviral vectors are widely used to study oncogenes and other human genes. Oncogenes means, I think, cancer genes. Next, types of expression systems. Bacteria are generally plasmids and phases, lambda phase vectors. Yeast also has plasmids, yeast artificial chromosomes, YACs. Insect cells, baculovirus and plasmids. Mammalian, viral expression vectors, SV40, vaccinia virus, adenovirus, retrovirus. Stable cell line, CHO HEK 293. Expression of vectors allows a cloned segment of DNA to be translated into a protein inside the bacteria or eukaryotic cell. Vector contain vivo promoter, amplicin selection, sequencing primers. Produces large amounts of specific protein. Permits studies of the structure and function of proteins. These vectors can be useful when proteins are rare cellular components or difficult them to isolate. Common problems with bacterial expression. Low expression level. Change in promoter, change in plasmid, change cell type. Add rare tRNAs for rare codons on second plasmid. Severe protein degradation. Use proteasome inhibitors and other protease inhibitors. Try induction at lower temperature. Missing post-translational modification, co-express with kinesis, etc. Glycolization will not be carried out by using yeast or mammalian expression system. Misfold protein inclusion bodies co-express with GROEL, a chaperone, tri-refolding buffers. All these are problems. Reporter gene vectors. A gene that encodes a protein whose activity can be easily assayed in a cell in which it is not normally expressed. These genes are linked to regulatory sequences whose function is being tested. Changes in transcriptional activity from the regulatory sequences are detected by changes in the level of reporter gene expression. Next, shuttle vectors. Shuttle vectors can replicate in two different organisms. Example, bacteria and yeast, or mammalia, or some other cells. Okay, they have an appropriate origins of replication. Hence, one clone a gene in bacteria may modify it or mutate it in bacteria and test its function by introducing it into yeast or animal cells. Next, cloning strategy. Strategy depends on starting information and desired endpoint. Subprotein sequences, positional cloning information, mRNA species or sequences. Next, cDNA libraries, DNA sequence known or unknown, genomic DNA libraries, and PCR product. How are genes cloned using plasmids? To understand how genes are cloned, we need to introduce three terms. rDNA is mixed DNA, that is recombinant DNA. Vector, it carries recombinant DNA into the cells. Plasmids, these are tiny circular pieces of DNA that are commonly found in bacteria. Why plasmids are good cloning vectors? Because they are small in size, easy to manipulate and easy to isolate. They are circular and more stable. Replication independent of host cell. Several copies may be present, that is by facilitating replication. Frequently have antibody resistance. Detection is very easy. How is foreign DNA inserted into a plasmid? To open up the DNA, restriction endonucleases are used to cut the DNA at a specific site. Then the double-stranded DNA piece with single-stranded ends. These ends are called sticky ends or staggered ends, and this DNA is called chimeric DNA. These ends that okay. Now the gaps can be filled with a piece of foreign DNA. The DNA from outside source to bond with original fragment. DNA ligase is needed. This DNA ligase joins two different DNAs together. Next, restriction enzymes. These restriction enzymes that cut the DNA at specific places, inactivate foreign DNA, breaks only palindromic sequences, that is those exhibiting twofold symmetry. Important in DNA research, that is sequencing and hybridization. See, this is the diagram of restriction enzyme, its action in E. coli bacteria. It is cutting at specific sites and producing two unequal halves of DNA. Next, cloning methodology. Cut the cloning vector with restriction endonucleases of choice, example E. coli. Cut DNA of interest with the same restriction endonuclease and yielding same sticky ends, example BAM-H1 or SAW3A. Mix the restricted cloning vector and DNA of interest together. Ligate them with DNA ligase. Then insert the ligated DNA into the host of choice. Transformation, that is generally bacteria, especially E. coli. Grow host cells under restrictive conditions. Grow on plates containing an antibiotic. Mostly used is ampicillin. Subcloning an E. coli fragment into a vector. Both plasmid and targeted DNAs are digested with E. coli and gel purified. Then insert the ligated into the E. coli site of the plasmid using T4 DNA ligase. It requires ATP. Three possible outcomes. Insert can be two possible orientations relative to vector, or the vector has relegate without the insert. See, this is piece of DNA. In the diagram you can see very cleaved by restriction endonucleases. Then DNA ligase joined the foreign DNA. Here is hand 3. This is a plasmid vector. Here also in the plasmid, restriction endonuclease cleaves and joins the foreign DNA, which is a recombinant DNA. The same once again you can see it through another diagram. I think you understood with this diagram also. This gene of this black color line is a gene of foreign DNA, and this is a plasmid, round one, ABR plasmid. Then both together joined by the DNA ligase and introduced into the bacterium or E. coli, and it is produced many number of copies. You can see here bacterial cells or plasmid main bacterial chromosome. In that bacteria you can see isolation of plasmids. Plasmids treated with restriction endonucleases, then mixed with DNA treated with restriction enzymes, then mixed together by ligase, yield a mixture of different combinations. Then it is transformed into another bacterium. There it produces many copies of genes what we require. Blue or white screening, colony selection, finding the rare bacterium with recombinant DNA. Only E. coli cells with resistant plasmids grow on antibiotic medium, because these plasmids contain antibiotic resistant genes. Only plasmids with functional LAC-Z gene can grow on agar gel. LAC-Z plus equal to blue colonies. LAC-Z functional, polylinker intact, nothing inserted, no clone. Log-Z minus white colonies, polylinker disrupted, successful insertion and recombinant. A complementation, the portion of LAC-Z gene encoding the first 146 amino acids are on the plasmids. The remainder of the LAC-Z gene is found on the chromosome of the host. If a fragment of the LAC-Z gene on the plasmid is intact, that is, you have a non-recombinant plasmid. Those two fragments of LAC-Z gene on one plasmid and the other one on chromosome. One on the plasmid and other one is on chromosome. Complement each other and will produce functional beta galactidose enzyme. Screening recombinants. So when you screen, you will find two types of bacterium in this ampicillin resistant colonies. See, white colonies are PUC plus insert, and the blue colonies are PUC plus 19, no inserts. Okay, so the galacticide gene is inactivated. The substrate X-gel turns blue if the gene is intact, that is, make active enzyme. White colonies X-gel imply the presence of recombinant DNA in the plasmid, and these blue colonies finally they die because of lacking of this antibiotic gene. Complications, LAC-Z gene is not expressed constitutively, X-gel does not activate gene expression, must use IPTG as inducer. Small in-frame insertions may not inactivate a peptide, still get blue colonies after often lighter. Enzymes used in molecular biology. See, alkaline phosphate removes phosphate groups from 5' ends of DNA, prevents unwanted religation of cut. Next, DNA ligase joins compatible ends of DNA fragments. DNA polymerase 1 synthesized DNA complementary to DNA template in the 5' to 3' direction, starts from an oligonucleotide primer with 3' OH end. Next, exonucleases 3 digest nucleotides progressively from a DNA strand in the 3' to 5' direction. Polynucleotide kinase adds a phosphate groups to the 5' end of double or single stranded DNA or RNA, uses ATP. RNase A, nuclease which digests RNA and not DNA. TAQ DNA polymerase, heat stable DNA polymerase isolated from thermostable microbe. Alkaline phosphate, see here, this alkaline phosphate enzyme removed alkaline groups. In the diagram you can see very clearly. Then restriction enzymes, molecular labs, the cut already you know, yesterday also I explained. Overhangings, 5' overhangings, the enzyme cuts asymmetrically with the recognition site such that the short single stranded segment extends from 5' ends to bomb H1, cuts this manner. 3' overhangings, it cuts 3' ends. KPNL cut in this manner. Blunt ends, enzyme that cut at precisely opposite sides in two strands of DNA generate blunt ends without overhangs. SMAL is an example of an enzyme that generates blunt ends. Converting a 5' overhang to blunt ends. Both Lino and T4 DNA polymerase can be used to fill 5' protruding ends with DNTPs, used to joining DNA fragments with incompatible ends. Once the ends have been blunted, ligation can be proceeded. Directional cloning. Often one desires to insert foreign DNA in a particular orientation. This can be done by making two cleavages with two different restriction enzymes. Construct foreign DNA with same two restriction enzymes. Foreign DNA can only be inserted in one direction. Good efficiency of ligation of foreign DNA into vector can be achieved if both the vectors and the inserted DNA are cut with two different restriction enzymes which leave single stranded ends, that is cohesive ends. The DNA is ligated in only one direction and there are only a low background of non-recombinant plasmids. If only one restriction enzyme is used to cut the vector and insert, then the efficiency of ligation is lower. DNA can be inserted in two directions and tandem copies of insert may be found. To avoid high background of non-recombinants, alkaline phosphatase is used to remove 5' phosphate group from the cut vector to prevent self-ligation. Alkaline phosphate removes 5' phosphate group from DNA and RNA. It will also remove phosphates from nucleotides and proteins. These enzymes are most active at alkaline pH. Next, alkaline phosphatase. There are two primary uses for alkaline phosphatase in DNA manipulations. Remove 5' phosphatase, already you have studied, and from the plasmid and the bacteriophage, and also it removes 5' phosphatase from fragments of DNA prior to labeling with radioactive phosphate. Next, RES with compatible ends BAM-H1 joined by insertion BGL2, generating new restriction enzyme at a blunt end. Use linkers to generate a new restriction enzyme. Linkers are used to place sticky ends onto a blunt-ended molecule. Short blunt-ended synthetic double-stranded DNA contain restriction site. Experimental design: blunt-end DNA plus linker T4 ligase. Digest with appropriate restriction enzyme ligate to vector. Here you can see these are blunt ends. Then here new restriction enzyme is produced and linker is developed. Then sticky ends are developed. Introducing a restriction enzyme site by PCR. Restriction endonuclease site is designed into 5' end of PCR primer. PCR fragment is digested with appropriate restriction enzyme, purified and ligated into plasmid vector using different restriction enzymes. Anneal and extended oligos with 5' restriction sites, E. coli one end, BAM-H1 on other. Depends on the enzyme. Some catalogs of the enzyme provides anecdotal data on the efficiency of enzyme trying to work at the ends of DNA molecules. Generally, enzyme work better if they have a couple of extra nucleotides at the end. They don't do very well if they are perched on the end of the molecule. Ligation of foreign DNA to plasmid vectors. Blunt-ended high concentration of DNase and ligase, large number of non-recombinant clones. Restriction endonuclease sites may be eliminated. Tandem copies of foreign DNA. Different protruding terminations requires purification of plasmid after digestion. Restriction endonuclease sites at junctions are conserved. Low number of non-recombinant foreign DNA is inserted in only one orientation. Identical protruding terminations. Phosphatate treatment of linear plasmid vectors. Restriction endonuclease sites at junctions are conserved. Foreign DNA is inserted either orientation. Tandem copies of foreign DNA. So identification of positive clones we will continue tomorrow. Sorry, we will continue till the applications of RNA. So identification of positive clones. One of the first step is to identify clones carrying the recombinant plasmid with the desired DNA insert. This can be done by picking clones, choosing individual bacteria colonies in order to isolate plasmid DNA from each of them. Single bacterial colonies are grown in culture, both containing the selection antibiotic in order to maintain the plasmid. The plasmid DNA is extracted by standard mini preparation technique and then analyzed by restriction digest. After digest, the DNA different sized fragments are separated by agarose gel Electrophoresis and the size determined by comparison with known DNA molecule weight marker. Agarose gel electrophoresis, negatively charged DNA molecules migrate towards positive pole. Next, recombinant DNA, useful tool. Analyze recombinant DNA, checking the size of the insert, checking the orientation of the insert, determining the pattern of restriction sites with the insert. Sometimes it is important to determine the orientation of DNA insert in relation to the vector sequence. This can be done simply by restriction digest using enzymes which cut the vector sequence near to the insert and cut within insert sequence asymmetrically. Applications: cloning DNA fragments, generating libraries for gene mapping, positional cloning, discovering diseased genes, discovering genes from protein sequences. Next, tomorrow we learn PCR cloning strategies. Thank you for listening my class.